Okay, so this week in lesson I would have spoken to you about the artist Georgia O'Keeffe. I would have told you about how she did shells, and they're quite small things, aren't they? But she would draw them big, so they filled the page. Now don't worry if you haven't got shells. There's no sea on the edge of Kazakhstan here where we're living, so you probably haven't. That's fine because I've put loads of wonderful pictures in the PowerPoint so you can work from one of those. But we're going to draw the shell, not small, but big to fill the A4 page like the artist Georgia O'Keeffe. And she said the reason she did that is she wanted to make people stop and take notice of something that they don't usually take a second look at. And maybe that's an important job of artists, to make people appreciate the beauty in things that they don't usually stop and take notice of. So what might be useful for you to do first of all is just, if you see here, there's some very quick studies, just line drawings of shells, and they're actually roughly the same size, so just really quick 1 or 2 minute drawings, a bit like you would warm up in sport, just to get used to the shape. But then after that, you're not doing it small like that. You're going to do it big to fill the page. And why? Well, look at the difference between these two students' work. On that one, you know, you don't really notice all the detail, just a little bit. I mean, it is a bit bigger than real life. But this is massive. It fills the page and you really see all the textures, the spikes, the tones, and it becomes interesting just in the textures on the surface. It doesn't even matter that it's a shell. So that's what you're doing. Do it big. Do it like O'Keeffe. Okay, now the next step, I'm just going to hold that like that so you can see it. If you had some coloured pencils or even paint, I want you to work in colour because Georgia O'Keeffe definitely did very colourful work. Now she would see colours and she would exaggerate them, so they would be very, we call it vibrant and bright colours. So pick what colours you're going to use, but don't worry too much about making it kind of brown or cream. You can turn it lovely shades of blues or yellows or all sorts of different exciting colours, okay, because we're doing it like Georgia O'Keeffe. Now we still want it to look round, so if I was putting shading on this shell here, I know it's curved, isn't it, and it goes away from me on the edges. So I might use a darker colour and of course push down quite hard on the edges to get that darker tone, and I'll do that on one side and do it on the other. And now when it comes towards me, the light is going to be hitting it because it's sticking out. It's a 3D object. So as it comes forward, I'm not pushing down on the pencil quite so hard. I'm going to just make it a bit softer, so hard, go over it loads of times at the edge, gradually take the pressure off as it comes in. Okay, so you get some tone. And you can blend the colours as well. So if I've softened the colour here, with the next one, I can then put this one on, also soft, and sometimes I go from one colour to the other, but where I'm actually putting it on the paper is actually turning slightly purplish colour. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but red and blue, if you put them very close to each other, they actually turn purple, which is a really nice thing to play around with. Let me hold it up so maybe you can see that. So I've actually just put red and blue and it's turned purple. Now there's other colours that do that as well. If you use yellow and green, for example, next to each other, they will begin to look blue. Sorry, if I made a mistake there. I'm going to leave that in the video to show that it doesn't matter, you make mistakes. If you use yellow and blue together, they will make green. Okay, I'll tell you why that is, because yellow, blue and red are the primary colours. They're the first colours, a bit like primary school, it's the first school. And when you mix primary colours, you get the secondary colours, which are purple, green and orange. So purple is red and blue, green is blue and yellow, and orange is red and yellow. So think about that when you put your colours on, how you can use primary colours next to each other to make secondary, and just really build up your colour. I'm going to leave you now to get on with the lesson, but I look forward to seeing really big shells to fill the A4 paper with lots of exaggerated colour, just like the artist Georgia O'Keeffe that we talked about at the start of the lesson. I look forward to seeing what you're doing and have a good lesson.